So yeah, clearly I am the odd one out here. I am not a speed puzzler. Yet. Puzzling is my hobby. It's what I do in my free time. It's what I love to do. However, saying that, I did go to the British Jigsaw Championships back in 2023 and last year in 2024 in Newmarket. But I purely went just to have a good time, just for the vibes, just to meet other puzzle enthusiasts. We were not racing at all. I even dragged my mum along back in 2023 and she rarely puzzles at all. But the time has come to put my puzzle skills to the test. How would I fare in an actual speed puzzle competition? In April, so about 2 months from now when I'm actually filming, I will be attending the UK Nationals, the first ever UK Nationals held by Ravensburger. And for the first time ever, I have officially entered in the solo category. Now, you might be thinking, hold up, how can this be the first ever UK Nationals if you've already been to the British Championships for the past 2 years? Well, a little bit of backstory on that. Basically, the puzzle company Gibson's Puzzles created their own championships back, it was over 10 years ago now, I think their first one, so way before the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships ever existed. They just created their own puzzle competition in this tiny little town called Newmarket. They have their own little jigsaw festival alongside it. And each time I've been to the event, I entered in their fun category. So even though I was puzzling as fast as I could, I wasn't actually racing against anybody. But now, since the popularity of speed puzzling is increased, especially since the pandemic and the start of the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships, Ravensburger have started opening up nationals in various different countries, and this year is the first year that they're doing one in the UK. I'll put links to both the events down below in case you're an avid puzzler like me, and maybe you do want to go for an actual legit speed puzzling competition, or maybe you just want a fun puzzle day out. So all of that to say that I really need to start practicing, and what better way to practice than with every single 500-piece puzzle from the World's qualifiers of last year. Now, during the World's qualifiers, the cutoff for each of these puzzles was 90 minutes, so an hour and a half was your deadline. Even though in the UK Nationals there is not a 90-minute cutoff deadline, I think you get 2 hours instead. I'm going to try and stick to that deadline because if, and that is a big if, I decide to go to the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships one day, my goal would simply be not to even qualify from a round, but simply to go, attend my round and finish the puzzle within the 90 minutes. So my goal here is to, 1, actually finish within the deadline if I can. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to. And 2, to just actually get faster at puzzling in general. In particular, the sorting and flipping process. So over the next week or 2, I'm going to be completing all 6 of these qualifier puzzles, which are Boathouses in Smogen, Sunset in Copenhagen, Postcard from Paris, Hello Vinyl, Spy X Family, and Grand Prix of Monaco. Now, looking at all these puzzles, there are some that I am very excited to try, and there are others that I am positively dreading. But to avoid any bias, I'm simply going to go in the order that they appeared in the qualifying rounds in Spain, which means first up, it's going to be the boathouse puzzle. So to try and best replicate the conditions of a speed puzzle competition, I have given myself just a single piece of A1 foam board to complete my puzzle on. So I'm going to just stick to only these dimensions because usually when I'm puzzling for leisure, I have multiple puzzle boards, I spread everything out, but obviously in a competition, you just can't do that. So if you've seen a speed puzzle competition before, then you'll be aware that the puzzles are actually placed within a sealed bag at the start. Now, obviously, I do not have that here with me today, but I have left all 4 seals on the puzzle. So at the start of the timer, I'm going to use up some time cutting them open, and I'm hoping that's going to replicate the same amount of time it would take to get it out of the bag. I don't know, I've never tried to open a puzzle quickly, so we'll see how this goes. So I think I'm all set up and ready for this first attempt. I have a little side table over here that's set up that has my timer, a knife that I'm going to need to actually open the puzzle, and my puzzle stands that hold the puzzle cover. I've rolled up my sleeves, I've tied my hair back, and I have my headphones ready to go. I'm one of these people that hate puzzling in silence. I'm usually always listening to either music or a podcast or something. Today's choice, I'm going to be listening to a Hans Zimmer playlist. Okay, 90 minutes is the goal. Wish me luck. So, voiceover Scarlett here. Here is me once I actually turned my camera to record, feeling like a fool, but luckily I'd only done maybe a minute of flipping pieces before I realised I wasn't filming, so that could have been a lot worse. I did my best to reset the box as best I could. Obviously I couldn't reseal it entirely, but here is me starting over again, and I did my best charades impression of me recutting open the seals, and I even spent a bit of time with the bag pretending to rip it open again. But now we're back into real-time puzzle solving. You can see as I'm doing that initial flip, my eyes instantly picked out that light blue beach hut, so I pulled that as well as the edges. This was the total flip time, which was 6 minutes 22 seconds, just making a note of that on each puzzle so I can hopefully get faster at that part. And then I did something I've never done on a puzzle before. I didn't start on the edge. The blue was really drawing my eye and I knew I could get it together reasonably fast. So once I did that, then I started on the edge, which I was missing a piece or two, but I guess that happens when you're going for speed. And this is the point where I was in the puzzle when the winner of the round, Kristen, finished the entire thing. Insane. After the edge, I moved on to the pink and orange boats down at the bottom there. And then I started on all the other colourful beach houses that make up the centerline puzzle. I basically chose to work from that middle line out. I kept finishing up the rest of the boats as well as the mast, working down slowly towards the edge lines of the dock before filling in the rest of the dark grey down there. I finished with the sky, as that's definitely one of my weaknesses, but surprisingly this puzzle had way more of a gradient going on than I was expecting, so I started with the dark blue and slowly made my way to the lighter pieces before finishing up with the white cloud pieces. I finished this puzzle in 55 minutes and 31 seconds. I mean, I don't really know what to say. I'm really pleased with that. So not only did I finish comfortably within the 90-minute deadline, out of the 182 participants that completed this puzzle in the qualification round A, I would have finished 68th. That's in the top half. I'm still so shocked. And wait, it gets even more interesting because my time was only about 2 minutes slower than the qualification time to move on to the next round. What the heck? I remember when I was watching the Worlds and I saw this puzzle pop up in the qualification and I thought, ooh, that does not look like a puzzle that I would enjoy. But actually, I surprisingly did enjoy this one. I mean, I'm now on such a high that I just want to do another puzzle to see whether this puzzle was just a complete fluke or not. But I know which puzzle is coming up in round B. Should I do another puzzle tonight? It's currently 9:30 in the evening right now. You know what? Let's do it. While I'm in the speed puzzling mindset, I feel like I should at least try another puzzle. I still feel focused and awake enough to give another one a go. Okay, so while I have everything set up and ready to film, why not try the Sunset in Copenhagen puzzle? So out of all of the qualification round puzzles, this would have to be my least favorite just based on looks. I mean, it's just so busy and so orange. I don't even know where I'm going to start on this one. I'm trying not to look too closely before I begin, because obviously in an actual speed puzzle competition, you wouldn't get to see the puzzle at all before the timer starts. Looking at the qualification times from this puzzle compared to the one that I just did, the boathouse one, they are in general a lot slower. I know this is not going to be anywhere near the hour mark. Honestly, with this one, the goal is literally the 90 minutes. Also, I will remember to hit record this time. All right, round 2. Let's see how this goes. So luckily I did remember to hit record this time, so no false starts for this puzzle and straight into the first flip, which I managed in a time of 6 minutes and 24 seconds, which is just 2 seconds slower than the previous puzzle. You can see I did indeed start with the edge this time, and I managed to find a few random sections of blue as well, and there was a bit of red in there and most of the white water texture. And then I tried to get started on the large coloured houses in the background, but oh my goodness, they were so difficult. And here is my progress at the same time that Veronica, the winner of the round, finished the entire puzzle. I then decided to tackle the busiest part of the puzzle, which was the crowd section, and worked my way along the middle there. This then felt like it gave me a decent enough chunk of the puzzle to work off of, and you can see I just started filling in random gaps. There was absolutely no pattern to this whatsoever, it was just whatever I could find. I just kept working outwards towards the edge, finally finishing up those darn houses before ending the puzzle with the sunset sky pieces. So you may not be able to tell, but it is now the next day. I finished this puzzle last night, and quite simply, this puzzle broke me. I was so completely drained by this puzzle. I mean, I tried to sit down and film a conclusion afterwards, but I just couldn't form any sentences, so I just gave up and I went to bed instead. So now that I've actually had a full night's sleep, I feel like I can actually form some sort of conclusion on this puzzle. So the time it took to complete this puzzle was 1 hour, 20 minutes and 57 seconds, which means I still came in 10 minutes under that 90-minute deadline. And when comparing my time to the times from the actual qualification round in Worlds, out of the 181 participants, I would have finished 81st with this time, which again somehow puts me in the top half overall for this puzzle. And when looking at the times that it would have taken for this puzzle to qualify and move on to the next round, the cutoff was around the 1 hour 12 mark, which means I was only 8 minutes off that pace, which is way better than I thought it would be, considering just how difficult I found this puzzle. I mean, you might like this type of puzzle, but this to me is my least favorite puzzle type. The color scheme was all yellows and blues. It was so busy with the houses and the crowds down here. I really couldn't see what was what. It's at this time I would like to give a special mention to anyone who was in that qualification round B at Worlds. I don't know how you did that in such a high pressure environment. If I got this puzzle on the day, I would have simply broken down and cried. I mean, I'll admit last night while I was doing this puzzle, I came this close to completely giving up on it. I got stuck countless times on this puzzle where I was just stood looking at it and I didn't know where to go next. So yeah, what I've learned from this puzzle is that I clearly need to practice more landscape design puzzles. They are definitely my weakness. So I'm gonna save the other 4 puzzles for another video. So please subscribe if you'd like to see me try them. I am so excited to try that postcard in Paris one. But yeah, for my first official attempt at speedrunning a 500-piece puzzle, I don't think I did too bad. The boathouses, I did really well, and this one I did okay-ish. So I guess I land somewhere in the middle. Thanks for checking out my video, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next one.